Hello, my name is Aisha and my brand is Perfume Cafe. I know a lot of you know me as Aisha Temptations. Okay, so today I'm going to curate a perfume eau de toilette for the Perfumers initiative hosted by Mr. Sende. So I'm going to start by preparing my alcohol. I want it to have a tincture, so I'm going to have, I have this dried rose and I have this apparatus. I won't tell you. So I'm going to add it into this to be able to extract. I don't want my alcohol to be bare. I want it to have a bit of scent, a bit of flavor. In perfumery, we call it tincture. So I'm going to add this. I'm not going to take you through the whole process, just to show you a bit of what I'm doing. So I'm going to add this here. I'm going to add this here. And then the extraction will be done in here. So after that, this is what you're going to get. I've done this so that you can see the difference. You can see this one has a slightly pink hue, and this is just your normal alcohol. Now I'm using ethanol, and you can see I'm using Absolute. Okay, so just to introduce you to all what I'm doing here. So this is the final results for the alcohol. I'm going to be using at least 16 ingredients. I will see as it develops if I will add more to it, but I will tell you the major ingredients that I want to do. It's going to be a Shipra kind of scent. Shipra is typically woody with elements of fruitiness, floral in it. So you will find citrus, you will find ingredients like oak moss inside it. But I'm going to put a bit of twist to mine, but that's just the closest family description I can give to the formulation that I have here. I'm going to use quite a number of ingredients. Now I have two types of ingredients that I will use. I will have the raw, natural, and then the raw synthetic. I'm putting emphasis on raw. When you use raw materials in perfumery, it's not finished products like the perfume oils. So you cannot just pick that and mix it together and call it perfume. So I will tell you the major ingredients that I'm going to use in it. So for my base, I'm going to have labdanum in it, which will be like a fixative for me, part of the fixative. I love patchouli. I love when perfumes dry down and then you can smell that woodiness. This by far is my best go-to oil for now. I've been experimenting with a lot of ingredients, and cistus is one that I definitely love. I think they call it the rock rose. So, and for anybody that knows me, I always preach about the love of my rose. So, and that's why this scent will be based on rose, but I don't want it to come across as a rose scent. I want it to have that spiciness, that edginess to it. So I'm using citrus. So these are my base notes. And then obviously, I'm using the middle note or the half note. I'm using Rosa Damascena. And it's also, this is natural. I didn't talk about whether some are natural or not natural, but it doesn't matter. And then I'm also using eugenol oil. So eugenol oil is sort of the kind of property you find in most plants like clove, nutmeg. So you can understand that I'm talking about spiciness. So I want to give it a bit of spiciness. So that's it. And then my top notes. Now the top notes I'm going to work with. I'm going to work with C14. And I'm going to also work with ISO-E. They're obviously not natural, and they will also work as my aldehydes, so that, you know, when you open up the bottle, you feel that fizziness. So that's what the aldehydes will do for you. So these are my major components. These are my major ingredients, but I'll be adding more as the perfume evolves. When I'm satisfied, I'll send to you, Mr. Sende. Okay, so we've talked about the alcohol, we've talked about the ingredients, and now we're back to here. So it's now time for us to measure our ingredients. I should have used this from the beginning. I'm not using any gloves, but I should have used this at the beginning. But I've actually cleaned my work surface, and the best work surface, wait a minute, I use IPA. Don't use IPA for your perfumes. It's excellent as a cleaning product. I'll talk more about it in some of my other series that will be coming up. So we are going to, depending on how skilled you are, you can go with drops or you can go with scale. Worst case scenario, you can use a measuring cylinder, but in perfumery you need to use either by drops or scale. I'll tell you all about it, the reason why you should do that. So you can either tie your scale. I don't tie it. I actually, what I do is I actually, first of all, I measure my container, and I don't use plastic. You need to use glass, because some of these ingredients, they can get some other things can filter into them and change their elements. So it's best if you use glass. And if you need to stir, you also need to use, I have a stirrer here. It can be glass or acrylic. So and also my pipette also is also glass, so that and it's easier to clean with that instead of plastic. So after I measure this, I know the weight. I turn my scale off again and I put it back. I write it down. I take a book and I write it down. I don't like to sit by my organ, and it's for this presentation I've just sort of like moved this here. It's actually at the other end of the room near the window, because I need ventilation to be able to clear my airways and also have a refreshed scent. I don't know the word, don't worry about that, but what I'm trying to say in essence is that I need fresh air to be able to sniff from one ingredient to another without being choked. Okay, so we've gotten to the part where we'll curate. So I have my formula book. Everybody must have one. Everything must be inside. So I'm going to go with this and then add. So I'm going to put my picture here. I have the weight. I have the weight for each one.
Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today.
So this is strictly for demo, just to show the process of how I go about curating my perfume. So it's just a little pinch. This shouldn't actually make more than like 10 ml perfume, depending on the strength. So now I'm going to add this, also measured, and I will add it to the raw ingredients. Okay, so swirl it around this, because I put it on the table. Just IPA it again.
Purchase your tracks today.
All right. All right, so there you have it. So let's assume this is the bottle I'm going to use. You require 30 ml, Mr. Senge. So let's assume this is it. So I'll fill it into here.
Purchase your tracks today.
Okay, can you see? That's the effect of this tincture. It's giving it that kind of hue, that golden rich hue. So finally, we are going to ensure that it is sealed, okay, properly. And that's about it. So thank you, and Mr. Sende, we would like to have more of this perfumers initiative. Let's say you are going to start with 15 million naira. That would be great. Thank you.